NFL Plus is the league's new exclusive video streaming subscription service. NFL Plus has your game day covered with live local and primetime regular and postseason games right on your phone or tablet. NFL Plus is available in the NFL app and at NFL.com. Subscription plans start at just $4.99 a month. Fans can visit plus.nfl.com and sign up for a free trial of NFL Plus today. So DJ, you gotta love it that another Tar Heel is now joining the ranks as an NFL head coach. Jeff Saturday was named interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. He joins Arthur Smith as another former Tar Heel who is leading a team. Now, this circumstance is a little different than the circumstance that Arthur Smith inherited because he's a full-time coach. He had a chance to pick his squad and do his stuff. Jeff Saturday is jumping in the middle of the season, and we can talk about all the things that are wrong with the Colts. The offensive line, the running game not getting going, but the number one issue that they have is who should be the quarterback. So when you look at the Colts right now, and the first decision you have to make is the quarterback, which way are you leaning? How would you fix this?
Well, if you're looking at trying to win games, I would think you probably go to Nick Foles here as your quarterback. Matt Ryan, I think there's a situation there with the contract. You don't want to get him hurt and be on the hook for some money next year. I understand that. I think Tony Dungy actually talked about that a little bit. I think it was on with Dan Patrick and kind of brought that up. So I get if you want to move away from Matt Ryan, but Sam Ehlinger hasn't shown you a lot of promise there. Maybe you give him one more game, Buck. But if you're really trying to win football games, I think Nick Foles gives you the best chance to do that. Everybody kind of forgets that he's on the roster there, but that would be one thing I would keep an eye on. But I don't know. I mean, some people are throwing it out there. Oh, they're not going all out to win games, trying to position themselves in the draft. They need a quarterback. Obviously, they've failed to do that over the last, all the way back to Andrew Luck since they've gone and got a quarterback there in the first round. So that could be maybe there's something to that, I guess. But to me, I want to kind of move it beyond this year. I know we got to play out this string, but I have a thought for you here. Let me know what you think. But we've talked on here before about a team kind of committing to a college offense, and we've seen the Ravens do it to a degree. Lamar has continued to grow and evolve as a passer. We'll get to his performance against the Saints later today. But we've talked about just running the quarterback, being ultra aggressive with that. I could make a case that the Colts roster, the way it's constructed, with some pretty good pieces on defense, with an offensive line that's better built to run block, with arguably the best running back in the league in Jonathan Taylor, maybe they should be one of those teams to finally do that. Go out and get one or two athletic quarterbacks in the draft. Maybe you take one in the first round and then one in the fourth round, and you get guys that can really, really run, and you commit to this, this new lifestyle, so to speak, of offense. They might be a candidate to go that route.
Well, DJ, if that's going to be the route, they can do it right now with the quarterback that they have in Sam Ehlinger. I think people forgot at Texas, this guy had over 30 rushing touchdowns. He was a monster when it came to red zone efficiency, being able to run the ball in. And so if you're going to do it, there are a couple things that happen when we do it. One, the offensive line. You can mask some of the offensive line's deficiencies by beginning to utilize read option plays, meaning they don't have to block everyone on the line of scrimmage. The most problematic defender, you can read him. And so now it kind of levels the playing field if you're having a problem at the line of scrimmage. The other thing it does is when your quarterback runs the football, it really creates lanes for your running back. So we know that Jonathan Taylor is a top 5 running back in this game. But when you don't have another option in the backfield, all eyes are on him. Well, if you begin to run the quarterback, it now evens up the numbers. It eliminates the +1 advantage that defenders have because now you have to account for the quarterback, and it creates bigger lanes for Jonathan Taylor. So when you think about the Baltimore Ravens and what they've been able to do with, I would say, unheralded running backs, but because all the attention is on Lamar Jackson, though other guys are able to get off. I think if you're the Indianapolis Colts and you're looking at the personnel that you have, you don't have an established number 1 receiver. You have an offensive line that's supposed to be the strength, and you have a bell cow running back. This team has to be a run-centric team. Going the collegiate route certainly has to be something that you entertain. Even if you don't go full bore in, you have to begin to do some of these things because that's what your young quarterback did well. It makes sense to at least begin the process and then evaluate how you want to go forward at the end of the season when it comes to the draft.
Yeah, the one thing I would just mention on that, though, I would say Sam Ehlinger, It's not a direct comparison, but remember Tebow had all the rushing success in college. Tebow was a high 4.7. Sam Ellinger's a 4.82. Like I'm saying, like you go out in the draft,
Yeah.
you look at somebody like
Yeah.
like Tyler Huntley, who's the backup for Lamar Jackson, who can really go. You look at Malik Cunningham, somebody from Louisville. I don't know when you got to take Malik Cunningham, 4th round. I mean, you're talking about guys. He's probably got legit 4.4 speed. Like you could get a real speed merchant. Look at the way Justin Fields is running. Obviously, Justin is going to be further along as a passer than what you'd be able to get out of an athletic quarterback in this draft. But that's what I'm saying. Like, go get some real juice in the backfield where you've got to account for him and he can really go if he does keep the ball.
Well, I mean, look, they all have to look at their division rival. I wonder what the Tennessee Titans would have looked like on Sunday night against the Kansas City Chiefs if they had kind of put in some of that stuff for Malik Willis to run. You know, it's one thing for him to hand it off and run bootlegs and those things. It's another to say, hey, Derrick Henry, Malik Willis, we're going to use you guys as if it was a Saturday night and this was the college football game of the week. And so when you start doing those things, it certainly changes the dynamic of your team. The thing would be in this draft, if you talk about what we're saying, double up, who is the guy that you take in the first round to be that main guy that does some of this stuff, and then finding the backup? Because you do have to go all in. If you're going to take this approach, this collegiate approach, where you have two guys that can do it and you're not worried about running the quarterback, finding the first one is key. And then the second one needs to have dynamic running skills to complement what the first one does if he's out.
Think about our buddy Bruce Feldman, and we can have him on and ask him about this too, but Anthony Richardson at Florida, right? Anthony Richardson's 6'4", 238 pounds, and he ran a 4.4 in the spring there at Florida. So now he's not a perfect passer, but then start thinking about the wide receivers they have. Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman, big physical guys. You absolutely can help you in the run game. You've got the physical back. Quentin Nelson mauling people at the point of attack in the run game. Now you put a 4.4 athlete back there that's 238 pounds. We can grow and evolve in the passing game over time, but I think right now you get him, you can take another one late in the draft to kind of be able to fill in if you were to miss a game or two. I don't know. I kind of look at the way this team's built right now. I think they could make that type of a decision. It would be pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, it would be fun to watch. And DJ, let's look at how the league is trending. If you're not paying attention, the running game is coming back to prominence in the National Football League. We're seeing teams commit to the running game, particularly if they don't have a top 5, a top 7 quarterback. All of those other teams are going to the running game. We have seen the Chicago Bears with Justin Fields, and Justin Fields was drafted to be a franchise quarterback. But since they've decided 4 weeks ago to run the quarterback, one, he's had 80-plus yards in 3 of the 4 games. The Bears as a team have rushed for over 225 yards in 4 straight games. Only the 1976 Pittsburgh Steelers have done it. And the Bears are now playing competitive games. They're giving people fits. They're in the game into the 4th quarter. They've started to add big pieces around them. And N'Keal Harry comes over. You bring Chase Claypool, bigger guys who expand the strike zone, but who also excel at blocking on the perimeter. It is we call it a lifestyle change. When you do that, you're right. If the Indianapolis Colts are going to do that, they already have the wide receivers to be able to do that. Now it's making the commitment and finding the quarterback who has the ability to run the ball and give you that dynamic playmaking ability as a runner with the big arm talent to push the ball down the field, because that's how it has to complement power running game, vertical passing game.
Think about Jelani Woods, who we saw at a couple All-Star games. 6'7", 253-pound tight end who was a blocking tight end at Oklahoma State before he transferred to Virginia and showed what he can do catching the football. But now, big physical wide receivers, enormous physical tight end. You've got an offensive line that's better built to run block. You've got the best running back in the league behind you. Now you go out there, you get Anthony Richardson, you draft Malik Cunningham a little bit later. I think we might have just stumbled onto something here for the Indianapolis Colts to kind of create an identity and a brand of offensive football to complement what is already, it's a good defense. They've got some good pieces in place on that side of the ball.
Yeah, they absolutely have a good defense, and they're good enough on defense to win games. When you look at the way the team has been playing, the defense has been playing really, really solid. And they've missed some of their pieces. So then you get Shaq Leonard back, you get some of your pieces back defensively, you can hold your own. Offensively, that's where you're lacking. And so if you're not able to generate points through the air, then what you want to be able to do is control the clock, push the game into the 4th quarter by pounding on people. And what you're hoping is the cumulative effect of dealing with the body blows of a very physical running game with multiple runners coming at you. allows you to win games late in the year. And so everyone has to be comfortable with that. The head coach has to be comfortable coaching tight games in the fourth quarter, because when you run the football the way that we are suggesting that you need to run it, you're going to have a bunch of tight games. You also need to have a nails kicker, because when you run the ball so much, anytime you get to the 30, 35, you want to have a automatic kicker that can give you those 3 points, because points are valued at a premium, particularly when you're a team that runs it as much as we're talking about running it.
Yeah, well, the team that we're describing here, what we want the Indianapolis Colts to do is something that another team is already doing, and that team is the Baltimore Ravens. They had a big win over the Saints on the road last night. We're going to jump into that game, give you our thoughts on it. We'll do that right after this break.